Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into something that could completely change the hiring game as we know it. We're asking a pretty big question. Can AI finally truly get rid of the manual screening call? Let's jump in.
So, let's start with this. Think about that totally standard 20 or 30-minute screening call that every recruiter does, day in and day out. On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, right? But what if I told you that 30 minutes is, well, it's not even close to the real number?
The real number, when you factor everything in, is closer to 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes for every single candidate. And you know why that is? It's never just the call itself, is it? It's all the stuff that comes after. You're frantically taking notes, then you're trying to sort and tag the candidates, and then you have to write up a decent summary for the hiring manager. All that little stuff, it adds up, and it adds up fast. Okay, but here is the big what if we're going to explore today. What if that entire 45-minute time suck could just vanish? What if you could get all that critical insight, maybe even more insight, without spending a single minute of your team's time? That's the promise of AI-driven screening. So to really get why this AI solution is so powerful, you first have to look at the problem it's solving. And the problem is that the old way of doing things, that manual screening process, it's a massive bottleneck. It doesn't scale.
And just look at the difference here. It's like night and day. The old way is all manual, it's subjective, and man is it slow. But the new way? With AI, you're looking at zero recruiter time spent on that first screen. You get instant qualification, standardized reports, automated everything. You're basically shifting the entire process from a guessing game to a science.
So let's meet the tech that makes all this happen. You can think of it like having your very own AI recruiter, an assistant that's dedicated to doing all those first-round interviews, and it works around the clock, 24/7.
The official name for this is AI voice screening. And really, at its core, it's a system that's built to do one thing and do it perfectly. Have a smart, structured conversation with a candidate over the phone, analyze what they're saying in real time, and then give you a verdict instantly. No back and forth scheduling, no awkward small talk, just pure, efficient data.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? You might be surprised at how simple and incredibly fast the whole thing is. We're talking about taking a candidate from the moment they apply to you having an actionable report in your hands in just a matter of minutes.
It really boils down to these 4 simple steps. 1, a candidate applies and immediately gets a link to the AI interview. No waiting around. 2, the AI does the interview. 3, the system scores and qualifies that candidate on the spot. And 4, the recruiter gets a notification right away. For that whole initial stage, it's a completely hands-off process.
And listen, this is not some simple chatbot asking yes or no questions, not at all. The AI is programmed to dig deep for the specific traits that actually predict success, especially in a role like sales. It's evaluating everything from their experience with commission to their emotional stability, probably by analyzing their tone of voice and word choice. This is a seriously deep evaluation. Now, as soon as that interview is over, bam, the system automatically sorts every candidate into these really clear qualification buckets. And this, right here, is a total game changer. Your recruiters no longer have to sift through a giant mountain of resumes. They can go straight to the top of the pile and focus their energy on that highly qualified pool.
And the analysis you get is just incredible. The recruiter gets this rich, detailed profile with things like sentiment scores, a hunter versus farmer assessment, which is basically whether they're better at finding new business or growing existing accounts, and a super clear list of strengths and potential red flags. You're getting more structured data in seconds than you'd get from a 30-minute phone call.
And all this information is delivered so you can act on it immediately. A recruiter might get an SMS alert the second a top-tier candidate finishes their screen. That means they can reach out before a competitor even has a chance. At the same time, they get a detailed email report with one-click buttons to advance, reject, or schedule the next step. It's all built for speed.
Okay, so the workflow is slick, no doubt about it. But let's talk about the bottom line. What does this all mean when it comes to saving actual time and money? Let's get into the hard numbers, because they're pretty wild. So remember that 45 minutes we started with? Well, with an AI screening system, every single one of those manual tasks just goes to zero. The call, writing notes, sorting candidates, writing the recaps, it's all automated. The time savings per candidate isn't just a little bit, it's absolute.
Now, let's scale that up a bit. Let's say you're screening 200 candidates in a month. That means you're saving 150 hours. That is not just a little bit of time. That's practically the entire monthly workload of a full-time employee, just given back to you.
And when you put a dollar sign on that time, the number is just staggering. You're looking at a $72,000 annual saving for every single recruiter on your team. That is a direct, measurable impact that goes straight to the bottom line.
But you know, the benefits here go way beyond just the time and money. When you adopt a system like this, it gives you a massive strategic advantage in the war for talent. It lets you shift your team's focus away from busy work and onto what really matters: human connection.
So first off, speed becomes your secret weapon. You can engage with top talent instantly, often before your competitors even know they've applied. Second is quality. When your screening is this consistent and data-driven, you dramatically reduce costly mishires. Third, you get fairness. Every single candidate gets the exact same unbiased evaluation. And finally, you get scalability. You can suddenly ramp up hiring from major growth without having to hire more recruiters.
Ultimately, this is the big transformation. Recruiting stops being this manual, slow, inconsistent process, and it becomes instant, standardized, and totally scalable. It's about turning what was a support function into a high-performance machine, and it frees up your people to do the part of the job that only humans can do, building real relationships with the very best candidates.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. When you really look at your own hiring process today, is it a necessary but slow-moving cost center? Or is it a lean, fast, data-driven engine that gives you a real competitive advantage in the market? Because the technology to make it the latter, well, it's not science fiction anymore. It's here.